Morning, guys. Just another quick one. I'm not going to bang on about the post I did yesterday. Though it was a bit of a disappointing post, to be honest with you, but we'll let that go for now. What I want to share with you is I got this knife on a trade deal, and it's the Condor, the large Condor Hudson Bay knife. Before it came to me, the handle's been modified. Okay, so the handle's been modified from here to the guard area or Ricasso area down to the handle, and even the shape of the handle as well. Okay, so now it's perfect fit, perfect length if you're wearing gloves, etc. The edge needed a lot of work as well. It was chipped, all banged up and everything. And I think at some point as well, whoever's using it before me probably hit a nail or something similar, or a pine knot or something of that nature, because it had a bend in it, in the edge. Well, this tiny bend, but anyway, I spent last night putting a new edge on it, and it performed really well this morning. But what I wanted to talk about is let's talk about different grinds. There's so many grinds out there of different knives. You know, we've got Scandi, convex, hollow grinds, Scandivex. You know, the list goes on and on and on. So, what if you're first starting out in bushcraft? Where does one start when you're first starting out? What would they go for? They go for a Scandi, a convex, a sabre, and I probably feel like go with whatever suits you, because when I first started, I said this in a post, I had one of my granddad's old scout knives, and this was like, took about 20-25 years ago when I first started, and it was a rusty old thing. I still got it, which I'll post probably later actually. Needed a lot of work doing to it. You could probably hear the geese again, and a lot of patina, but it served its purpose, and it was convex grind, and it served me well for a long time. And then I upgraded to a different knife. Can't remember which one exactly it was. I think it was a Scandi grind edge, and that worked a hell of a lot better in the field for bushcrafting, cutting, game, especially field work, just basic field work. Brilliant wood carver. But then after that, I started to experiment even more with different grinds, right? So I went back to convex grinds, and I just started to experiment. And that's all I'd probably say to you. Just go out there, get different knives, get cheap knives to start with. I'd probably highly recommend cheap knives. And then see whatever works for you. This one, for instance, I'll give you a prime example. The grind on here. At first, because I've owned many Condor, get that right, knives over the years, but I've never owned the larger Hudson Bay knife, which is what this one is. I've owned the small one, but I actually sold that because I didn't like the handle, because the handle was too small. It's probably that big. So this one's a lot bigger because it's been modified. Very good tough blades, very sharp, but I always felt that probably the 1075 steel, certainly what they're bringing out now, I don't know if it's a manufacturing problem or they've changed suppliers from steel, I'm not too sure, but I know they've had a few issues with quality control, and the 1075 steel being should I say, a lot softer than the early knives that they bought out, because the early knives I actually quite liked. Budget friendly, very tough steel. But anyway, I'm waffling. But I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube with people using this knife and they mod it. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. I mod knives myself. But one of the things I've noticed is that when they're doing videos and reviews on chopping and things like that, is, I'm not going to bring anybody down or anything like that. I'm no expert on these things, but if I look at the grind on here, the way it's designed, it's almost like a machete or a Golok, if you use the British Army Martindale Goloks. So it performs very similar in chopping. Okay, so that's probably what it was designed for, this kind of knife. Okay, so, but I've seen people on YouTube, I'm going to do it in front of the camera, but just to give you an idea. Okay, probably this one's better actually, just bear with me. Okay, so imagine this is a log or a tree, okay, and they're hitting it like this, okay. Okay, really hard. And he said, yeah, it's not bad, it does the job, but it could be better. So I might change the edge geometry, make it higher, maybe a high Scandi, maybe a high saber grind or something similar. But in all intents and purposes, this is similar grind, similar size, similar shape to a large machete. Now, anybody who's used a large machete or British Army Golok would know that you don't chop like this. If you do, you're going to be there all day long, okay? The quickest way, and again, I'm not putting anybody down. If this works for you, then that's fine. Carry on doing it. But for me, the quickest way to use this kind of grind, my phone's just slipped down there, guys. Just bear with me a second. Is vertical chops, vertical side chops, this way. Now you can see already the stuff flying off, okay? You get bigger results from chopping this way than you do that way. This grind was not designed for chopping this way, okay? You get better results and chopping like a machete and going vertical side strokes, okay? Now I tested the new edge this morning on this because I did this, obviously, as I explained, new edge on this last night, got rid of all the dings, etc. And by vertical chopping, it performed absolutely amazing. For what this blade is and just for how thick it is, the thick stock. I don't know, I'd say maybe 5mm, looks like about 5mm thick, and that edge geometry was like a Bowie type or a Bowie if you're in the States, but the edge geometry was more like a machete. Okay, so if you own one of these and you don't like it because the chopping ability, you don't feel like it chops, try vertical chops, chop down. The same with machete, a Golok, a kukri. They're all chopped the same way. Downward strokes, downward strokes, downward strokes. Work around the wood, downward strokes, and then eventually you'll fell the tree or the log. Okay, if you want to do that kind of chops, then get an axe. Exactly what it's designed for. But yeah, I mean, 9 times out of 10, to me, it's down to technique. So when I see all these YouTube videos and saying this knife is rubbish, it doesn't perform, it needs to be changed, it's not a very good chopper, they're actually chopping wrong, if you get me. I'm trying to do this video without insulting people. There's a lot of good people out there and they do know what they're doing, and a lot of them actually know a lot better, a lot more than what I do. But yeah, anyway, so just going to wrap this up now because I've got a lot to do today, but I just wanted just a quick discussion really on different grinds and then try chopping vertically. Okay, not horizontally, vertical. You'll get a lot more results out of that. So yeah, going to wrap that up. Thanks for watching, and to all you novices out there, I would say just find the blade what works for you, find the edge geometry that works for you. You might prefer a convex over a Scandi. Who knows? You know, you might be converted. And just gain your experience and knowledge in that way. So yeah, I'm just going to wrap this up now before I wobble on again. And Merry Christmas if I don't see you before. Peace.